Hi everyone. So yesterday during our workshop, we discussed BA 90-day roadmap and the learning plan. Today, I'm going to show you how to execute this roadmap, what you have to do every day to achieve your target. Okay. So before we jump into steps, so let's take a look quickly our roadmap. Okay. So the phase one, you learn the foundation. Okay, so go that first 30 days. So we break into week wise. So first week you will learn BA basic and output. You should be able to explain what does a business analyst do. Okay. So week two, requirement basic. That's our main goal. The expectation output is writing simple BRD. Okay. Week three, you focus on user story writing. Output, you will document user stories, okay? And including what is a user story, acceptance criteria, practice 10, 15 user stories, okay? Week four, agile. We are focusing on agile methodology. So expectation is agile. How do you work in agile, okay? Phase two, you focus on core EA skills and tools. So especially you will practice how to work with Jira, and output is Jira project board, okay? Week six, you will practice more detail into documentation skills. You will focus on, again, complete BRD and FRD documents. Week seven, you will focus on process mapping. So you will study as is, current state, future state, and gap analysis, and most diagramming. Okay. Week eight, you'll focus on UAT, user acceptance testing, and testing support. Okay. And expectation is UAT documents and defects, creation, bugs. Okay. Phase three, your portfolio building, real project. Okay. You can start practicing simple use cases or scenarios. Okay. Full BA project. That's outcome. Week 10, advanced tools like SQL, Excel, other tools, data analytical tools. This is optional. Okay. So you can start applying after you create this stage, your resume. And also you can start practicing your scenario-based, behavior-based interview question, mock interview questions. Okay, week 12, job application ready, apply 10, 15 job and mock HR and interview questions. Okay. So your final result after 90 days can write VRD, FRD, user stories, can use Jira confidently, can explain Agile and STLC, can attend BA interviews. Okay, so this is your roadmap. Okay, so now question is, how do you execute this one? What to practice, right? So we are going to take a look. So this is what you're gonna practice every day. So I'll explain you what steps. So there are 6 steps you need to complete, completely full job ready. But for a beginning, I would recommend you to follow only the up to step 3. Okay, step number 1, 2, 3. So let's go through the steps one by one. We'll identify what are those steps. So step 1, foundation, learning the STLC, software development lifecycle. Okay, there are templates to fill up. So what you should do, understand, I'll give you one example, one use case for business scenario. So you have to understand the business problem, identify the stakeholder, and you need to write the user story. That's our main goal. Okay. Okay. Step 2, you have to understand the domain. So we have different use cases: insurance, banking, whatever the use case you want to work. So mainly we are focusing on the domain here. Okay, so what you do, you'll capture the current state and future state. So you're doing the gap analysis and you are creating the process flow diagram. So here the template is fill up the as is current state and create the current problem to be process future state and the benefit, okay, and diagram, okay. So that's the our second step. Third step, now you have to write the user stories and acceptance criteria based on the future state, okay. So fourth step here, so Jira backlog and management. So here you have to estimate the user stories and create epics and link user stories, okay. Fifth step, testing and UAT. Sixth step, documentation and create full BRD and FRD documents. So final state is resume and mock interview preparation. Okay, so that's what you need to practice. So what I would say, you can skip from 4 to 8. So you will be only doing 1 to 3. Okay, 1 to 3 what? Identify the current business problem, what you need to build, okay, using the STLC, okay, what you need to build. Second one, do the gap analysis, current state, future state, and the process flow diagram. Third step, and write in the user story. So I'll show you one example today for you. Then I'll give you 10 assignments, 10 use cases or case studies you can complete. You can repeat the same flow again and again until you master. Once you master, you can continue the rest of the flows, rest of the steps, okay? So our end-to-end practice flow. So you will directly don't jump into writing user story. Okay, so you will complete the step number 1 and step number 2 and step number 3. Okay, so let's take it to step number 1 is understand the business problem. Okay, so I'll give one use case, scenario or case study. Based on that, you have to write this. Okay, your job is clearly understand who is facing the problem, what problem they are facing, and why the problem exists. Okay, so do the gap analysis and it's help you to identify the current state, and you, based on that, you can understand the future state. And third one, you can do the process map. Okay, you can, third step, you create the process map. Once you have the process mapping, step number 4, you can write the user stories. Okay. And also one more thing I want to call out here. So you have to learn to write user story for the front end and back end for all the BAs, right? So some BAs are only working on front end flows. Some BAs are, if you have technical background, you can work back end flows also. But you must know how the backend work, even though if you are not a technical also. So what involved in front end like forms, applications, buttons, screens, fields, validations, example login screen, whatever you see on a website or application, everything is front end. The behind the process, everything we call as a backend. Okay, so backend involve like a database, APIs, infrastructure, the microservices, business logic, third-party vendor integration, example, payment gateway, credit bureau, email, SMS services, okay? So if you're wondering where should I learn this one, so I have uploaded end-to-end functional and business analyst 10-hour training. So you can learn from front-end to business logic to microservices and the third-party integration, all the user stories, same formats. Okay, so you can even you have the, I created the demo also. You can see how the from front end to back end data is saving, how the API working, API testing, how the microservices are created, how the third-party integration is done. So you have sample user stories, you have sample flow diagrams, and everything is there. You can go back and watch. Okay. So today we are just focusing on writing the user story after we identify the current and future state and after we diagram. Okay. So let's get started. The first use case, so I have given you some use cases, so you can start whatever you are comfortable. Okay. Mobile banking, hospital, insurance policy renewal, online. Or if you're not familiar with this one, you can you can choose one, any of your use cases, whatever you like. So just repeat the 5 steps every time. What are the 5 steps? Identify the business problem, do the gap analysis to find out what's the current state. Number 2, what is the future state. Number 3, do the diagramming. Number 4, process flow. Number 5, write the user story. All right. Okay. So if you complete this one, at least you will get 100 user story. So you will be master and you can continue the next steps. Okay. Creating the FRD and BRD and start practicing the mock interviews and resumes. Okay. So I'm going to choose here e-commerce use case here. Okay. So local shop selling the electronics. That's what I'm going to choose here. Okay. So I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to use Jira, and I'm going to use Confluence, and I'm going to use Miro. Okay, so I need for the time being, let's start with the Confluence. Let's write the business use case. Okay. So the use case main goal is the business problem. Okay, so let me write the business problem here. The business, you can repeat the same steps. Wanted to launch an online e-commerce. So let's say we have a business owner, Sam. He want to open a online store to sell online. Okay. Application. So customers can browse electronic products. Please orders and make payments. Okay, so that's the business problem today. So we'll add more detail. The system should support both customer facing features, which is front end. Okay, front end and system functionalities, backend to manage products. So I would recommend you to start with the front end, but you should definitely know how the application is working. I recommend you to learn both the front end and back end. Okay. So this is our first thing, right? We have 5 steps. So we identify the business problem, the business owner owner wants to owner business. So the business owner want to launch an online e-commerce application so customers can borrow electronic products, place orders, and make payment online. Okay. So now let's update this one. So let's identify the user stories first. Okay. So let's list the user story before we start writing the user story. Okay. So before the user story, what we need to do, we need to identify we need to write the current state and the future state, right? So let's write the current state and future state first before we write the user stories, okay? Okay, so I think we can use the same Confluence page before we go to the next step, okay? So here you can write current state. So let's assume, so you can do it in Excel also. You can write current state, future state, or like a business process mapping. Either one is fine, but I'm going to use this one, our Confluence page. We are going to continue same thing so that for us it's easy. Okay, so let's write our current state, what we need to do to build this one. Okay, so how do you know, how do you identify the current state? How do you, like, if you don't know, like, how do you write this current state? So what you can, that's why we will be doing like stakeholder workshops and requirement gathering sessions to identify like what's business is doing today. Okay, so after you do your gap analysis, so we can write here number 2 current state, or you can write as is flow. Okay, so or you can write business process mapping, anything fine. Okay, process mapping, anything fine. Usually what I do, I write number and I write entity because then I'll write action. I have to give action. So here I'll just show you how do I write a number. I'll write the simple way, so you don't need to worry. Okay, so I'm just showing if how do I write. So I'll write the first step here. I'll put the number so that I know how many steps are there. So the entity is customer. The action is visits. What's the customer doing today? Physical shop. Okay. So I'll continue this step. So I can create a chart, or I can go to Excel. I can create this one. I can work. Okay. This is one way you can do this kind of business process mapping. Otherwise, you can just use the simple one like this as is flow. You can just type the number and you can write. So customer visits physical shop. That's one. Next term is customer asks for product details. Number three, shop owner manually checks stock. Okay, so you have to ask business owner all the steps in order to write this one. Okay, verbally. Um, verbally communicate. Communicated and customer pays by cash or card. Okay. And number six, shop owner manually update inventory. Okay. So this is the current flow, very simple flow. Okay. The pain points here. Let's list the pain points here. No online product catalog and manual inventory updates, no order history, no customer data stored, limited business growth. Okay. Now let's write. So we completed the first step. So business goal or business problem. So current state, we did the current state. Number three, we are doing the third step, which is the future state. So what is the solution? Oh, you can write to be okay. So business process mapping. Oh, I'm just giving all the names so you can follow whatever you like. Okay, so here let's capture the future state. So customer opens e-commerce app. Okay. Instead of going to shop, so browses products. And number three, it's like your Amazon app. Okay. Customer adds items to cart. Okay, number four, customer places order online. Number five, payment done via payment gateway. Number six, order confirmation sent. Number seven, inventory updated automatically. Okay. So now we write here, we wrote the pain points. So what are the benefits going to be? Okay, business benefits, business benefits. Let's list down everything. Increase customer reach, right? Increase sales. 24/7 customers because shops online is available, right? So automated inventory and better customer experience. Business scalability. You can sell it anywhere, okay, right? Business scalability. So we completed successfully step number 3. One more step is remaining, our process flow. Okay. How to create our process flow. Okay, so process flow. Before we do the diagramming, we can list, we can write first, then we can build it. Okay, so I'm going to create a diagram using Miro. Okay, so I'm switching back. Let's update this one. So we have all the steps here. If you want, you can write it down, or either you can create in the diagram. So let's create in the diagram. How to make this big. Okay, something. Okay. So let's make big Miro. So let's start with, so I'm gonna use simple. So our user opens e-commerce app. Let's make it big. Okay. So user open e-commerce app. You can just simply point and you can, or you can drag and drop whatever it's you like. Okay. So next one, use product list. Okay, so here you can see the product list. And next step, select product. So whatever user is doing. Okay, so for user is coming here and user open e-commerce app. So there are some other layers, right? Customer login and everything. So we are just showing the high level. Okay, so view the product and after login. Okay, user select product. And next step is adds products to cart. Okay, that's the next step. And let's continue this one. Checkout. Proceed. Checkout. All right. Okay, I'm going to bring down this guy. Okay. Okay. And next one, enters delivery details. Okay, just entering the delivery details. Okay, so you know the same flow how you order anything online, right? So you open the app, you view the product, select product, add products to cart, checkout, and enter the delivery details. Okay, so complete next step is completing the enter your credit card or debit card. Completes payment. Okay, and next one, confirm order. Okay, and next one, update inventory. Okay, and user receive confirmation. Okay, you come back to the so this is the happy path. Okay, high level you can add more steps here, decisions and everything. We are just adding the high level. Once you get experience, you can add more detail. Okay, so this is just a beginner friendly. Are we good this one? So this explain how our process flow should work. So we successfully completed our fourth step also. We completed this one. So now we will go back to our last step, which is adding the users to. Okay, so this is how your sample backlog looks like. So these are sprints. You can see sprint 0, sprint 1. So you go to backlog, you create, we are going to create items in the backlog. Okay, so there are different ways. You can click from here to create the user story, or you can just click here and you can select what you are creating. I don't see the user story here. So it should show me user story. Add the work type, story. Okay, let's see if we can see the user story here. Okay, it's not showing. Get user story option. Okay, here let's use this one. Okay, I click user story here. The first user story going to be, okay, so let me add the user story here. Okay, so that we know what are the user story we are going to. So first we create epics, but I will just skip here. 5.1 first user story is going to be front-end user story. Okay, what customers are seeing. Front-end user stories. Number 1, user story 1. User story 2. Can add user stories. So how many user story we need here? One is customer listing the product, right? So let's decide how many user stories we need. Okay, I try to figure it out. How many user story we need to add. Let's take a look our diagram. Okay, so first one, viewing the product, right? We can have one user story. View product list and customers view product details, list and select a product viewing. Okay, so we can add 2 user stories here. So user story 1, I'll write the topic. So that's view product details. Okay, and so here customer views list and select the product. Okay, so here we need to add user story details, user story 2. I'll add view product details. Okay, user story 3. What we have in the diagram? So add. So we can tell add to product card. So user story 3, just to get an idea. Okay, so that we can cart. Okay, number 4, I guess checkout, right? We need to go for the checkout and payment. Okay, you can go user story 4 and payment. User story 5 and story product. So now we check out. So customers enter in detail, right? So here we are now, you can continue more details. Okay, so we just jump into backend what you do. So store product information, what customers are ordering, create order record, and payment gateway integration, and update inventory. So we'll go those steps now. Okay, so user story 5, I'll go with I'm not sure if it is confusing to you, this backend one. but when you start working, you'll get more. Okay, so that's why I will recommend you to watch that video. User story 5, user story 6, and create. The more you work, more you create user story, and more you will understand. 7, pay my user story. Start with simple, and then you can come to this one. Gateway integration. Okay. Which 7th user story? I'm just following this one only. Okay. Update inventory. I think that's it. Notification. Do we have notification? User receive. So I'll stop here so you can add more user stories. Okay. So just for explanation. So I have 2 user story for product. Here, product list, not details. The second one, details. Okay. Here, right? So first customer view the product list, then this one. So now time is to write the user story. Let me update this kind of my navigation, like how many user story. This all not front end. So let this guy backend also included. Okay, I'm not going to segregate backend and front end. So just leave it and let's create the user stories. Okay, so the first user story, we have I will write users. Oh, I'm gonna copy and paste. I don't need to type. So user story 1. This is the title we are going to use. User story 1. So user story. Let's write a background. Customers need. So we are writing the background. Customer need to see a Y level electronics. This is the purpose of this user story. Okay. Electronic products before deciding to purchase. Okay. And now user story as a customer. So when you're writing the user story, remember who does what. Okay. So now I want to view. This is the dash part. Okay, I'll explain it. Let me write it. I'll explain it. List of electronics. Electronics product. So that I can browse and compare items. So here, guys. So who customer? Okay. Action is viewing, right? That's a does part here. You don't need to write this one. I'll remove this one after writing. Okay. That's how you can write the I want piece. So you wrote the user here. Does mean action view and what? Electronic products, list of electronic products. Okay. So I'll remove this one. This helps you to understand how to write. This is the benefit file. So now let's add the acceptance. Acceptance criteria here. Okay, so we write given when they. Okay, So given is the precondition when what customer is doing, and then is the expected result. So let me explain you one simple analogy. Let's say you want to validate the TV functionality, right? So given is TV is on, like there is electricity when you press on button from your remote, and TV should start working. Or when you change the channel, it should change whatever functionality. The functionality is when, then is the expected result, given is the precondition. Okay, so let's write one, you will understand. Given I am on the home page. So customer is, sorry, home page. Okay, that's what the customer is coming, right? So they're in the home page. This is what we are writing. Home page. What you do, customer when the product list loads. So customer is clicking here the product list, right? So that's what happening when product loads. And what the expected is that I should see product name, price, and image. Okay. And one more condition, only available products should be displayed. Okay, one more condition. If it is out of stock, sorry, don't display. Okay, is it clear, guys? So let me create this one so you can see your task is in the user story one in the backlog. Okay, so let's go to our second one, view product details. Let's say you customer click this one. I'll select the user story and I'll write the title, user story 2. View product details. Okay, I'll copy this one and I'll start create this one. So it's created. Let's add the detail here. Okay. Details are not added. Description. Let me start with the background. Okay. So that developers know what is the purpose of this user story. Background. Customers require detailed information before making a purchase decision. Okay, so that's the purpose. User story. User story. Who does what as a customer? I want to view detailed information of a product. Okay, that's our second one, so that I can understand specification before buying. Okay, let me show you the flow again. Okay, so customer see the viewing list and they select the product. Okay, so now we are displaying the details. That's what we are at. Okay, so you can correct this one. Now let's write the acceptance criteria. All right, okay, given precondition, given I selected the product, right? So that means the previous step is the here. The previous step is the precondition, right? Select a product. If they select only, we will display this one. I don't know, given I selected when I open the product, details page. It's taking time, guys. That's okay. Then I should see description, price, and availability status. Okay. So that's this user story. Okay. Second user story. That's done. We can see. So we have our third user story. Let's quickly add that user story. You don't need to write user story 3, okay? Sorry, the number. I'm just writing for your understanding, okay? Add products. Product to cart. Okay? Create. So I'm going to open in a separate tab, new tab. Let me close this user story and go to the description. We'll do the same thing. Add a background quickly. We have to write 5 more stories. Background. Customers want to purchase multiple products in one order. Okay. User story. Customer. User story as the customer. Okay. We have to write add products. So now customer is adding to the cart, to my cart. Okay. Cart, not card. So that I can purchase them together. Okay, acceptance criteria. Given the previous step is the given condition. I am on a product page. Okay, when what you are clicking, when I click add to cart, then the product should be added to my cart. Is it easy, right, guys? Easy or difficult? I don't know. You have to practice this one, right? Again and again. Count should be updated. This is what the developer will use to build. Okay. So that's we completed our third user story product card. So now let's work on the checkout. Okay. It's a lot of work we had to do. User story number 4. This we are just only writing one set of the user story, right? So for the project, we have to write many user stories. So okay, so next one, I'll go to the description. I like to add more detail in my user story, but just for the simplicity, we'll keep the background only. Okay, customers need a simple way to complete a purchase. Okay. So user story as a customer I want, sorry, I want to check out and make an online payment, right? Online payment. So why we need so that I can complete my order. Okay. So acceptance criteria. Previous step is the given condition. So given I have to I have items in my cart. Okay? That's the precondition. Then only you can go to checkout, right? So when I proceed, next time when you order something online, you can, this day-to-day use case, right? So you can write this and submit payment. That's why I want to show you this one. So you'll understand. Then the payment should be, the more clear you write, developer can build fast. Okay. And tester can validate. And I should see an order confirmation message. Okay. So these are, I consider as front end, but there are other user story you can write for front end. I'll stop because we created 4 user stories. Okay. I'll save this one. So let's add 5 and 6, 7, 8 backend stories. I think store the product information in the database, create order. This guys. Okay. User story. User story number 5. Store product information. Okay, create. So I have to open in a different tab. This guy to modify. And close this one. Description. So I like to add the background so that I know why I am writing. The system must store product details so they can be displayed to customers. Okay, where do you store in the database? Okay, so if you know the more detail, you can write more detail, but high level you can write. So user storing as a system. Now no user. Okay, I want to store product information in a database. So I'll here, this is what we're right. So customer add complete the payment. So these are going to store in the database. Okay, so that's what we are writing. Acceptance criteria. Sorry. But we'll write, okay. Customer, so that I didn't write, so that products can be managed and retrieved. Okay. Acceptance criteria given same, given what's the given? A product is created info updated. Okay, customer update in the cart. When the data is saved, then the product details should be stored in the database. Okay, that's very simple. Okay, so there will be a question which database, which table you have to capture here. Okay, so just for a basic only I'm covering, but you have to, then only the tester can validate which database, how this and all the detail you need to provide. So how do you know? You can work with the tech lead or whoever creating the design. So then, okay, you can have a copy of the schema and you can put it there or link it there, attach there so that they can verify. Number 6, create order record. Okay, create, and let's open this guy in a different tab. Okay, 6, user story. As usual, I will add the background. Okay, background. Orders must be tracked for fulfillment and reporting. User story as no user here, as a system. I want to create an order record after checkout, after customer checkout, so that order details can be tracked. Acceptance criteria. Even payment is successful. Okay, this spelling wrong. This one. Okay, then sorry, when an order is placed, then an order record should be created with order ID and status. Okay, that's the user story. Our 7th user story, payment gateway. Right, so let's create that one. User story 7, payment gateway integration. So this one, with the vendor, we are going to integrate. Okay, background. I don't know how long this recording going to be, but there is one user story. The system must support online payments securely. User story as a system. I want to integrate integrate with the payment gateway so that customers can make online payments. Acceptance criteria given the customer submits payment details when the payment request is sent, then the system should receive a success or failure response. Okay, that's our 7th story. Last user story. What's the last one? Update inventory. Okay. Background inventory must remain accurate after every purchase. Okay. What else I can write? Okay, that's enough. Okay, let's write the user story quickly. As a system, I want to update inventory after an order is placed. Okay, so that stock levels remain accurate. Okay. There are a few errors. Let's update this one. Acceptance criteria. Given an order is confirmed when inventory is updated, then the product quantity should be reduced accordingly. All right, okay. That's our last user story, okay? So there are many user stories we have to create here, but we are just taking the high level from the process flow, okay? So what, just for summarizing, okay? So we have you can master like all of this one, whatever you prefer. If you don't have the, whatever the use case, if you are not familiar here, you can choose your own use case, okay? So what I want to practice here, continue until you practice, then continue the other step 4, 5, and 6, okay? So I will write how you should practice, okay? So these are the 5 steps. Write background. Okay. Write user story. Write acceptance criteria. User, right? User, not. And okay. So before that one, so you have business problem. Okay. I'll write another this for user story. So your step one, business problem. Step number two, current state. Number three, future state, process flow diagram. Okay. Number five, user story. Okay. So this one will go here. This three, I'll put it here. Okay. So this is how you will write the user story, write the background, write the user story, and this one. Okay. So repeat this one until you master. Right? Maybe write 10 user story or start with 3 or 5. It's up to you. Okay. So thanks everyone. Have a good day.